Southeastern ESPN. A source told ESPN Barcelona fired coach Xavi Hernandez. His final match as coach will be Sunday. Former Bayern Munich and Germany head coach Hansi Flick is on course to replace him.
I know, right?
It has happened. 171.294 miles an hour.
You wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. You ask your mom, please, but she still says no. You missed 2 classes and no homework. But your teacher preaches class like you're some kind of jerk. You gotta fight for your right to party.
Friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast all afternoon, even as we head into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. At the same time, some of us could end up staying dry. We'll maintain a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
College football.
The ball is caught. It is a touchdown.
Major League Baseball.
That ball is gone. A home run.
This is your place for complete sports coverage all year long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Can you get me a little typeset?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on?
Yep.
Can somebody respond?
down the street. They can still do that. And does any of this impact the unlimited transfers? Is that going to be part of the package? We're just going to keep giving and giving and giving. I mean, if they're going to be paid, can we have a contract? Can we not have a scenario where where the kid can be a free agent every year? Will there be a contract where the kid commits to at least, 2 years, 3 years, something? Well, dog, the coach can leave anytime he wants, I mean, I get that. But he's got to pay the buyout. Somebody's paying the buyout. It's a lot of questions here. So much to unpack. And how does it actually impact the game? It probably doesn't, except for the fact that we are going to see a breakaway. The question will be, when we talk about breakaway and we talk about 40 or 50 or 60 schools that can afford this other than the other schools, if we talk about a completely new division, if you will, of these top schools, will there be a breakaway within a conference? What's going to be the first conference when Mississippi State says, I can't squeeze what Georgia can? I mean, will it happen within a conference? I don't know. They're sharing revenue TV money, whatever it is, $50 million a year in the SEC. So they're all getting that. But there is other money that comes in. And again, it's not the NIL money. The NIL money that goes directly to the kids is still going to be out there. All right, phone lines are open. This makes my head hurt, but, I mean, we have to talk about it a little bit. We got to discuss it. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. Hopefully you didn't forget the number. 256-576-4977. Text window is open, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. Facebook is at 97.7 ESPN. There you'll find a link to our YouTube channel at WZZN TV. You can check out 977ESPN.com and get links to all of that stuff. If you're watching on WZZN TV, then you get the benefit of seeing my smiling face, and you get the benefit of, some other views like that of the studio. The fish, what do they call it? Fish lens, fish eye look or whatever. There you go. Oh, look, that's so weird. It's like me on the, in there. It's like infinite. So we got that for you as well. Get the app. You need the app. All right, get the app. You'll find links to our alternate streaming channels as well. More great programming there. 4 more great channels on the app. Snag the Talk Radio WZZN app for more great programming, where you can hear the Trash Pandas on Talk Radio at 97.7-2 over the air. That's our digital signal, 97.7-2 on a digital radio. Most cars have them now. And if not, you get the app, and you get it crystal clear. Of course, Talk Radio is your home for the Trash Pandas all season long. Now, that's not Zone 2. Zone 2 is a completely different thing. Zone 2 is 97.7 ESPN. Talk Radio is at 97.7-2. Totally different. That's an over-the-air thing. All right, going back to the PGA FECTA, we had 3 winners. Wolverine Dan, LSU Lynch, and Tomahawk David each had Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, and Scotty Scheffler for a trifecta record 49 under. We've never had a Master FECTA, U.S. Open FECTA, PGA FECTA, Open FECTA. We have never had one come in at 49 under. I mean, of course, nobody's ever won a major at 21 under. So that's the way that ends up happening. So congratulations to those guys. They're each going to win. They'll each receive a twosome to Cherokee Ridge, he said to Grizz. A twosome at Cherokee Ridge for Wolverine Dan, LSU Lynch, and Tomahawk David. Good job by you guys. Speaking of Scotty Scheffler, the video of his arrest came out yesterday, and everyone is still looking for the part where the cop gets dragged 30 feet. I mean, this whole thing seems like a way overzealous cop trying to be a tough guy. Totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary to arrest Scotty Scheffler based on what we saw there. And keep in mind, I am always on the side of the cops. I'm a love you blue kind of guy. Always side with the cops. But, I mean, come on. I mean, he goes around the bus. He's got a car that's marked. He moves around the bus to pull in, thinking, the cop runs over, stops him. He's, we don't know what was said. There's no audio. The cop didn't have his body cam on. He's been reprimanded for that. I mean, this thing, why isn't this tossed yet? Geez, I didn't know why they couldn't go around. I'm one of the competitors in the Mr. Scheffler, please. Just wait right here. We'll escort you through. I mean, come on. The heck's going on there? I would love to hear from a peace officer. Tell me what I'm missing. If you're a cop, call the show. Don't call the show and pretend to be a cop. All right, the cop of this show is over there in a little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones and living large on a Friday. You know him, the one and only Coach Chris.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a stick and polish.
Brilliant! I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole. Right through my pocket and into my skin. Come Monday morning, I'll be broke again. It's finally Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday, I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
Down goes Grissom.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Yeah, Gris, what a week it has been, right? I mean, we opened the week up in Atlanta, watching the Braves, whip up on the Padres, blow that game to the Padres in the 8th and 9th inning. And then your engine blew up on your car just like the Braves. Your engine blew up like the Braves blew up.
It was
and now you're riding your bike to work. You know what I mean? I mean, it's been a crazy week.
It's hot out there.
I mean, it's hot out there. And it might rain, at some particular point in time today. We need a little bit of rain, to be quite honest with you. Knock these cicadas out of the trees. It's been a crazy week.
And you said I'm a cop. No, I'm not a cop, but I have interacted with cops in the last week. 3 different cops in the last week. So when my car did break down, the neighborhood watch, the old people in the neighborhood, they called and said my car had been there for a while. And
now, this is in a new neighborhood, right?
This is the old neighborhood. This is
because this would be a hell of a thing to happen going into your new neighborhood. You move in, and the first thing you do is you come in with a jalopy and blow your motor up.
No, it was a nice car. I just happened to it was on the side of the road. So apparently they said it had been there for a while. I come back, it was maybe no longer than 20 minutes. Come back, there's 2 cops. Yeah, there's 2 cops. Said that they were going to impound it. Guy gets out of his car after I'm kind of like a little hot and agitated because it was hot. I had the dog with me. I had to take her home. I put the dog up and came back, and my car was still there with 2 cops in front of it. But, I told him straight up what was that, and he goes, he thought I got a little uppity with him, and he was like, I don't have to rescind this tow, and I appreciate it. He was a lot nicer throughout the day or throughout the little exchange or whatever, and he let me go, and they actually helped me push the car to the side of the road, so I appreciate Huntsville PD for helping me out. But then last night, I was downtown, I was riding my bike around, and it got to be kind of dark. Well, I didn't have a light on my bike. I was wearing a white shirt.
Who has a light on their bike?
I was wearing a reflecting kind of shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I look in behind me, and I've got blue lights behind me. And a said police officer pulls me over, and he tells me that I need to have a light on the
pulled
front
over
of
on your bike?
He was looking looking out for me. He didn't want me to get hit by traffic and everything like that. But I mean, my thing is like, I hate bikers, like road bikers. That's okay. If you have a road bike, get on the road. I'll go around you, whatever. But if people are riding a mountain bike, or people that just don't have a very good bike and they're riding it, don't complain if they're on the sidewalk.
So what kind of bike is your bike?
Because it's a really nice mountain bike.
So it's a mountain bike, and were you on the sidewalk or in the road?
In the road.
I just thought you said you don't want mountain bikers in the road.
Well, my thing is bikes are not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
No, you got to be in the road.
I understand that, yeah.
Right.
No.
So it's not one of
I'd
these
rather be on the
bikes-
sidewalk than get hit from behind from some jerk that can't pay attention that there's a bike in front of them. That's my problem.
On the handlebar, do you have one of them little bells?
Yes,
like
I do.
Like
I
if
do.
you ring the bell. Do you really?
No, I don't.
Do you?
They are
no,
the
no,
clickers. They are the really cool like shifter clicker things.
Do you? Okay, so you don't have the little bell to
No,
little
I don't have
bell
a
to
bell.
ring the thing.
I have a bag.
Do you have a basket on the front of your bike? Does it
No.
have like a little basket,
basket.
weaved like with pink and white? Nothing like that.
No, I
Okay,
have a
all right.
bag on the back.
So you have a bag on the back.
Yes.
All right. Were you wearing a helmet?
No, I was not.
Good for you.
Don't ever wear a helmet.
Good for you.
Don't ever wear a helmet ride my bike. You look like a nerd.
Good for you. And
No,
he
we
didn't
wear-
say anything about that. Isn't there a
No.
law about that? I thought you have to wear the
No,
helmet.
You don't. No. And the thing is
Nice.
cops. And the thing is if I was on the sidewalk, I guarantee you that cop wouldn't have said anything to me. Because in Alabama, or in Huntsville at least, I've lived here my entire life. Not a cop. Cops never pulled me over for being on the sidewalk. And my thing is I'd rather be on the sidewalk on a bike.
Would make more sense.
Yes.
You know.
You
Well,
go to big cities, they're not in the middle of the road. They're on the sidewalk.
Did they have the lane though for the bike where you know how they put a
So,
line down
yeah,
where you
so
can
there's a
drive your bike
stretch.
along the gutter?
Well,
Yeah.
my problem is that I went Washington, and Washington doesn't have a stretch of bike lane, so I was just in the middle of the road. If you're on Meridian, which turns into where like Furniture Factory and all those little places are right there, there is a stretch of bike trail, and then it just ends.
Was it dark or was it dusk?
Oh, it was dusk. It wasn't completely dark.
Dusk is bad. Dark is better than dusk. Dusk is hard to see people. I got to be honest with you. There are two things that are the bane of my existence, okay? People riding their bicycle in the middle of the friggin'
in the middle of the road, yeah, where they're
during
supposed to
dusk.
be apparently.
During dusk,
Yeah.
okay, when it's hard to see them, okay?
Right.
Two, kayaks out in the lake, out without their flag up, without their kayak flag up, and they're out in the main lake as opposed to like where they belong, which is up a creek somewhere where I can't get
Or a
to with
river,
my
yeah.
20-foot bass boat. You know what I mean? Go up the river, not out on the main river. I'd be up the river. There's a guy I interviewed for tomorrow's edition of Bassmaster Radio. He won $11,000 in a kayak tournament on Gunnersville Lake, right? His name is Eric Siddiqui. And the Bass held a kayak tournament on Gunnersville Lake, and he won out there and he was fishing the ledge out in the main lake, out in the ledge, like by Highway 1, you know, the main river channel.
Yeah.
And I said to the guy two things. I said, one, if I was fishing in the kayak, I'm falling out of the kayak to land a fish. If I had to land a fish, I'm falling out of the kayak. No, they're so stable. Everything else, I got a buddy who's 340 pounds. He doesn't fall out. I said, two, if you're out on the main river channel and I'm running down the lake at 65, I might gonna T-bone you. I'm just saying, I don't want to T-bone you. Put your flag up. Make sure you have. And these kayaks, they're like $10,000-$12,000. I mean, they're ridiculous. They got the flag and everything else, or they got motors on them and everything else. But so the kayak, you on the road on your bike is like the kayak guy out on the main river channel.
Yeah, I was.
So you got stopped. Who has a light on their bike? I mean, that's so kind of. You know,
Well, I mean, like,
really?
yeah, if you're riding at night, I get it. You need to have like, because they have one where it's like on the front you have
Pulses.
a white flasher that pulses, and then on the back you've got a red light that's on the entire time, just like if you were a car.
I hear you. All right, wide open first hour of the radio show. I got all kinds of things I want to get to here on the show. Pat 40 went on the Dan Patrick show this morning. Thank you to Steve Moulton cutting up a little bit of that sound for me, and it is it's good. I mean, you need to hear that. We'll also take your phone calls at 256-5764, 97.7. Baseball is closing in on a system for electronic balls and strikes, but there's a problem. They can't figure out what a strike zone is. We'll get to that. TNT may be losing the NBA, but they maybe have gained the college football playoff with ESPN. We'll get to that. The Harrison Butker story from earlier this week, I got to say something about that. And I got an article in front of me, if I get to it, from Sportico, not written and endorsed by Sportico. It was just on the Sportico website. And the title of the article is The Case to End College Football. Well, everybody's got an opinion. All right, we get a break in here. We'll come back. Get on the lines. You want to get behind Natty Danny, you can do that right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas host the Montgomery Biscuits today at 6:20 on WZZN.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityweincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in the field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast all afternoon, even as we head into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. At the same time, some of us could end up staying dry. We'll maintain a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Our steady diet consists of food and football, and occasionally some baseball and hoops.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center. Thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. TOC services the Huntsville Havoc, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, and most of the high schools in the region with 13 locations throughout the Tennessee Valley. If you have an orthopedic problem, you are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sidelined playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, and the best facility to get you back in the game, and I think you'll agree that that's the Orthopedic Center. TOC, stay in the game with TOC. Grizz, what was that? I didn't recognize it. That sounded good, but what was it?
Oh, that's, what is this, Kickoff from NFL Films.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
a little
some
NFL film
music.
stuff there.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry,
it
is coming down outside. I'm just hearing it.
Yeah, they just said that too in the weather. It is pouring rain in parts of the Tennessee Valley, depending on where you are at. I'm semi concerned a little bit, Grizz. Tomorrow morning, I am fishing a cystic fibrosis charity event on Old Hickory Lake, which is just east of Nashville, and it is run by one of my sponsors. So I felt compelled to fish in the thing, and I fish in this thing every year. And typically what I do is I go up and stay at my daughter's house or my son-in-law's house because they live right near Old Hickory Lake.
Yeah.
So I'll go up and stay with them, and then this way, boom, because first light now is like 5:15. You know what I mean? We're going to be going at 5:15. Yeah. So anyway, my daughter and my son-in-law are out of town. And they're like, oh, you could still use the house. But no, I don't feel good about that. You know what I mean? I can't go stay at the house if they're not going to be at the house. So I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I mean, I'm leaving before I go to bed. I'm leaving at 3. I have to be head on pillow, TV off at 9 tonight just to get a little rest. So I'm heading up at 3 a.m. in the morning with Joe, and we'll get there sometime around 4:30 to the ramp. But I'm worried about the weather. It's supposed to rain today. The boat is outside right now. It's over at the Gillum Marine that services my boat. Two of my 3 graphs that are on the boat, electronics that are on the boat, had to be updated, and I had to take them in, and Humminbird updates them somehow with some sort of a SD card. They stick the SD card in there.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
So so they had to be updated, and so the boat is sitting outside, and I really don't want it to get poured on and soaked, and I want to get it back in the barn, before. So, but I'm a little concerned because it does show rain tomorrow morning between 4:30 and 6, and so I'm just thinking, oh great, it's going to rain just enough to get soaked, and then it'll be like we'll be wet all day, but we'll see how that shakes out. All right, let's get the phone lines and clear these guys. Natty Danny is up first. Natty Danny, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, congratulations, LSU Lynch and Tomahawk.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little concerned. You got Hovland and you got Shambo, which, the crappy, not the live tour, I call it the dead tour, Anyway, and I thought, geez, these guys are playing pretty good. And I thought, oh, someone's going to get me and everything. But then Scotty at the end, I think the 18th, the last hole for him in his tournament on that par 5, I didn't watch because I was listening on my radio. And what happened, I guess he bogeyed that par 5. He was 14 under going into that hole. And I'm thinking, sometimes it's just that one shot that knocks you out of the first place, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, you guys were clear. You guys were clear, and Lynch did the smart thing. He took your team, and which was good, and then Tomahawk David also had the right team.
Oh, so Lynch took my picks?
Yeah, he just said, give me Natty Danny's picks.
Oh, here we go.
Now you got to decide whether or not, who are you going to take? Do you take Larry? Do you take Bama Brad? And do you pair up with LSU Lynch and his whoever his guest is?
No. I got so much. I got golf cars. I've got certificates. Dude, I got golf coming out of my butt. I got so much golf.
Mm.
So I'll take care of my guys. I took care of Brad, Tim actually the other day. I paid for his round, and I said, "Get me next time." So it's all good, dude. You know, listen, everybody. If you want to play golf, you got to buy these golf cards. You got to buy these certificates from 97.7 The Zone. And man, you know what? You can afford to play then. It's a great deal, especially also Corleo's. My wife was trying to get a couple of those, and
they're gone in 5 minutes this morning. They were gone in 5 minutes.
I know. But I'm going there tonight. I got a bunch of those too. If you listen to 97.7 The Zone, everybody, and buy these coupons, you save a ton of money. And these restaurants and golf courses love you to show up with these certificates, because that means that advertising is doing what it's supposed to do.
Well, we broke out a new one yesterday, the Co-op Brewery down there, and that went real fast too. I mean, that was really good.
And Ginger got those. Those.
Good.
So Larry and I and Tim, we all tap into that, and it's a great service that you provide our myself and other listeners, Tom. So I really do appreciate it. But with that said, it was an exciting tournament. I'm glad for Shoffley. He's always been very consistent. He's a very classy player. He doesn't complain much. And he played really. You know what it was? I thought when I watched him play, and I said, a guy like that, or these pros, their heart rate is so slow. They know how to slow their heart rate down. And to play good golf, as well as I do, it's repetition. But also it's the fact that if you are having a low heart rate, you're calm, you're relaxed, you play better. And these guys know how to get their heart rate down and really calm their body. And they're so good at what they do. Don't you agree?
Yeah, that's what Scotty Scheffler kept saying. They kept asking him about getting arrested, before the second round. And he's like, well, did you get my heart rate down? I got into the clubhouse, got my heart rate down. I had to get my heart rate down. He must have mentioned it 3 or 4 times about how important it was to get his heart rate down. And I thought that was really interesting.
Well, it was. So I'm glad to have you back, my friend. Congratulations again to LSU, Lynch, and Tomahawk. I'm happy for y'all. And Tom, as usual, man, I really appreciate it, what you guys do. And, hey, listen, Chad, I'm T-minus half an hour. I can come by the shop if you want me to.
Let me see what I have. I don't know if I can answer that question.
See if he hasn't printed out yet.
Yeah,
I know I sent some to you the other day, but yeah.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. Just you got my number. Call me or whatever.
Yeah,
there
you go.
We got flooded earlier.
There you go. Yeah, we did get hit earlier, but I know we did have some new ones that come out. And with these, I may just do. Just do the phone call down there and leave the name down there.
Yeah.
It's really better for us to send them to you guys. It's our studio doesn't set up really well for visitors, if you will. I know
Merrill
some
does
guys
not like
come
that.
by, but it's really not that way. I mean, it's really not the best way to do it. All right, so it sounds like Bama Brad's getting stiffed on this deal. Is that what I'm hearing? Isn't that what you heard Dan say?
Definitely.
He's like, oh no. I don't know. Bama Brad's up next. Bama Brad, it sounds like you might be left out in the cold on this next round. I'm not sure that Dan won.
Who does it better than the Tom Abraham Show? Nobody.
See, now you're just buttering me up, and I appreciate
I did that in honor of
that.
my friend Wolverine Dan there.
Yeah,
he did take me years to Cherokee Ridge, and we played, and we teed off about 8:30 yesterday morning, and I'm still on number 10, Tom.
There you go.
I haven't got it to the green yet.
All I got to get out there and play. I haven't played the track. I've got to get out there, because I haven't been playing much in the last several years. I haven't played very much, and I committed to playing, get out there and starting to play again this year. In fact, I bought a new set of woods. I bought a new driver and a 3-wood and a 4-wood, and went to a softer shaft, and something was a little whippier to help me out a little bit because I swing slower now because I'm an old man. And I just need to get out there and play. Right when I was ready to start playing again, I hurt myself again, and my shoulder's been banged up for a month, and I think it's just about right now.
Since Wolverine Dan is going to shaft me and Larry on this round, he can take you.
There you go. Me and you can go together. You and I can go together, yeah. I want to take Dan out. See, Dan plays, 3 or 4 times a week now, and I have played 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years, and so what I want to do is I want to go out with Dan, and I'll beat him. You know what I mean? I want to go out with Dan, and I want to beat him, and then it'll completely he'll be so disenchanted. He'll sell his clubs. He'll sell his clubs, get rid of everything, and never play golf again because he'll be like, "Are you kidding me? I've been playing golf 3 or 4 times a week for 5 years. The big dog played 3 or 4 times total in 5 years, and he came out here and beat me, and now I'm going to quit."
Yeah, that'll put him into a meltdown.
It'll melt down.
Hey, this umpiring stuff you're talking about for this strike zone. I don't know if you watched. I'm sure you and Grizz watched the Braves the other night against the Cubs, and they had stats on there with the umpire behind the plate, Chris Guccione, and they were showing his low strike zone. He calls half of his pitches that are low below the strike zone. He calls them strikes. The ones that are at the upper part of the strike zone, he calls balls. And I'm like, I was talking to my son. He's an official also, and I did a bunch of baseball for years. And I'm like, what other job can you have where they do the statistics and they show that you're not doing your job right, you're inaccurate, you're not making the right calls, and you still keep your job, other than the weather guy?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they say, Angel Hernandez only gets 85% right. He misses 15%. And when you think about a baseball game has 300 pitches, 15% of 300 pitches is missing, hang on a second.
It's too many.
It's 300 times 0.15. That's 45 missed pitches. I mean, he missed when they say, well, he only misses 15% of the time. That's 45 pitches that are either a strike or a ball that they get wrong, that he gets wrong.
Yeah,
now, the best umpire gets about 90%. The best umpire is still missing 30, Yeah.
And you're going to miss some calls, but, I mean, there's no reprimand for that either. Now, you go to college football, and they replay everything that goes on, and, I mean, those guys get graded like you wouldn't believe for missing stuff. It's amazing the difference in, how they look at Major League Baseball umpiring. So I don't know that if this automatic strike zone, people are going to complain about it too. And you're still going to have live umpires out there.
There'll be an umpire out there, but here's the issue. They haven't decided what a strike is. And I'm not even joking a little bit. I mean, they do not know what the strike is yet because of the fact that, I mean, you tell me, I always thought of the strike zone as a cube. I always thought the strike zone was from the front of the plate to the back, the shape of the plate, and from the knees to the letters, whatever they want to go, back of knee to the bottom of the letter. But it's the cube, right? It's the whole side of the plate. And this new, the automatic, the ABS system that they're using in the minor leagues, it determines where the ball is at the midpoint of the plate. So, in other words, 8.5 inches into the plate is where it's determining whether or not it's a strike or a ball. So, what baseball's trying to figure out now is it a strike if the ball is, say it's a sweeper or a curveball or a slider, and it catches the front part of the plate and goes across the plate, and before it gets halfway through the plate, it's already off of the plate. If it crossed through that cube, is that not a strike? I don't know why this is difficult.
If it catches any part of the plate, is a strike. But now anything above the belt is no longer a strike anymore.
Well, they say they're saying bottom of the letters. So let's stick with what they forget up and down. What I'm talking about is the plate. Anything that catches any part of the plate is a strike, right? Well, baseball is now saying they're not sure that's the case. And the system that they have, it grades where the ball is at the middle of the plate. Well, Greg Maddux threw strikes that never got to the middle of the plate. He threw strikes that cut across the front of the plate and were off the plate 4 inches into the plate. You know what I mean? Those would be, to me, if it catches a piece of the cube, that's a strike.
Yeah,
but they're saying,
I always thought that's what it was. I always thought that's what they always based it off of, because if the ball touched any part of the cube, it was called a strike.
Yeah,
I always hated it.
How many times did you hear it caught the black? It caught the black. It caught the black. Well, that's technically not the plate, but it's the border of the plate, and that was always a strike. So what's first thing they got to do is they have to figure out what strike zone is before they put an automatic umpire in.
Well, even if it's the black, it would have to be the black 8.5 inches into the plate. I think that's the thing. If it's a fastball and it goes right down the black, chances are it caught a little bit of the edge anyway. But if it's a fastball and it goes right down, I think that's fine. But on curveballs, sinkers, sweepers that may be out of the zone by the time it gets to 8.5 inches back on a plate, that's what they're not sure about. Bammer Brad, thanks for the call. We appreciate you. What Rob Manfred said, discussions have not taken place with the Players Association on the shape of an automated strike zone. There is little desire to call the strike zone as defined in the rule book as a cube. The ABS currently calls the automatic balls and strikes. The ABS currently calls strikes solely based on where the ball crosses the midpoint of the plate, 8.5 inches from the front to the back or the back. All right. We have, and quote, Rob Manfred, quote, we have not started those conversations because we haven't settled on what we think about it. I mean, that's MLB's meetings with players revealed a preference for a challenge system in order to continue to incentivize catcher framing skills. I'll get to that later, the whole framing issue. But so Grizz, they're saying they don't even know, there's no appetite to call the strike zone as it is defined in the rule book, which is a cube. They don't even know what a strike is right now.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. I think it would be anywhere from like the edge of the plate to, like you said, the numbers to the above the knees. I mean, it's just.
But there's the cube, the plate itself. Take the shape of the plate and go straight up. All right, up and down, of course, is up and down is up and down. Whatever that is, it's going to be different for Jose Altuve than it is for Aaron Judge. It's bottom of it. If they say bottom of the numbers to the back of the knee, usually it's the back of the knee now, which is like the middle of the knee. So that's the up and down. Fine, forget about the up and down. The question is, what is going over the plate?
Yeah.
Does it have to go through the middle of the plate to go over it has to go 8.5 inches back? Because if a ball comes across the front of the plate and doesn't make it to 8.5 inches but still caught the front edge of the cube, that's a strike.
Yeah.
That's a strike. It doesn't have to stay over the plate. It just has to catch a piece of the cube. Apparently the players don't like that. And baseball doesn't. They're not sure if they like it. All right, let's get a break. All right, we'll come back and wrap up hour number 1 next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's 97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandy Man. At noon, it's the Tom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
For Woody Anderson Ford. If you've had your eyes on an Explorer, Bronco Sport, or Escape, it's important to note that they now come with 2-year complimentary maintenance. And because it's SUV season, there's no payments for 90 days on any of our SUVs. At Woody Anderson Ford, make no payments for 90 days on all SUVs. Explorer, Bronco, Expedition, Edge, Bronco Sport, and Escape. Hurry in for financing as low as 1.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150 crew cabs, too. And lease payments as low as $329 a month. Imagine an F-150 in your driveway for just $329 a month. 36-month lease with 6231 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends 5/31/24. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Remember, 2-year free maintenance on Explorer, Escape, and Bronco Sport, plus no payments for 90 days on all SUVs. It's SUV season at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
One of the best-kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge. Championship quality, affordable prices.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative. Located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville, our brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, our diverse menu has something to please every palate. With a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, we invite you to savor the unique flavors of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative. Call 256-678-7036. The Brewers Cooperative.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast all afternoon, even as we head into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. At the same time, some of us could end up staying dry. We'll maintain a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center, featuring the biggest names in home appliances, plus some you may not know, but have tremendous value. Check out their Lacey Springs showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231. It's a lovely drive down there. And you're going to find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers washing and the freezers freezing and the cookies getting baked in the double ovens. It's outstanding down there. They'll even wash and dry a load of clothes for you down there. Mike Owen told me that. That's what he said. I don't know, but that's what he said, and I trust Mike Owen. You can see how great their products are when you head on down there to Owen Home Appliance. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's all in the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com. All right. Coming up in the second hour of the show, we're going to get things kicked off with Chris Lee, get his thoughts on what's going on with this whole thing with the college sports now and with the payment, and we're trying to figure out how it's all going to work. But also, Chris, of course, Vandy Sports, he's a big fan of Vandy baseball. The Vandy boys have been so good for so many years, ever since Tim Corbin really got there. And they're waiting. They're waiting to see what happens in that Tennessee-Mississippi State game, and they will play the winner of that game on Saturday for a trip to the championship game in the SEC. They were the 8 seed this year, Vanderbilt. LSU is on the other side waiting as well. They're the 11 seed. I mean, just think about that, the 8 and the 11. But these are historical programs that have been very good for a number of years. And so it's not a surprise to see these people locked and loaded and ready to go. So we'll talk with Chris Lee next. Also, we've got the Pat Forty sign, which I want to get to you as well. We'll hear what he had to say about the whole issue of the Power 5 conferences being able to pay their players now. By the way, this was a Power 5 thing. not impacting the group of 5. Wouldn't have that kind of money anyway. We're getting more and more separation in college football. All right, we get a break. We'll come back. Chris Lee is next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Pacers waiting for word on star guard Tyrese Halliburton exited the loss in Game 2 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals last night with a sore left hamstring. Coach Rick Carlisle said he aggravated an injured hamstring that he suffered earlier this season, and that injury did sideline him for 10 games back in January. Halliburton's status not yet known for Game 3 versus the Celtics tomorrow night. Indiana is down 2-0. Timberwolves look to even up the West Finals tonight when they welcome the Mavericks in Game 2, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio. The Rangers, who were dominated on home ice by the Panthers in the loss in the opener of the NHL's Eastern Conference Final, host Game 2 tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN. A source told ESPN Barcelona fired coach Xavi Hernandez. His final match as coach will be Sunday. Former Bayern Munich and Germany head coach Hansi Flick is on course to replace him.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It has happened. 171.294 miles an hour.
Freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast all afternoon, even as we head into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. At the same time, some of us could end up staying dry. We'll maintain a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. Visit Woody Anderson Ford's award-winning service department for routine checkups to keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. And you know what? If you have a bigger problem, their expert service technicians are going to quickly diagnose it. They're going to use their state-of-the-art tools to resolve it. Services include preventative maintenance checks on things like belts and hoses and fluids, plus air conditioner, brake, and transmission repair. Woody Anderson Ford also has a mobile service a deal as well, where they come out to you. Their convenient mobile program, it includes oil changes and tire rotations and part replacements and windshield wipers and lights and things like that. And if you're only available on the weekend or in the evening, the Quick Lane service is your one-stop shop. Brakes, tires, batteries, they do it all. No matter the service your Ford needs, Woody Anderson ensures quick, professional, and exceptional service. Woody Anderson Ford, the only place I've gone in the Tennessee Valley for some 20 years now. All right, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, a guy that's done a tremendous job over the years for Vandy Sports. He and I have hosted various programs together back in the day for my time in Nashville. He is the one and only Chris Lee from VandySports.com, great friend of the Vandy baseball program and the Vandy boys, and he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Chris, welcome in. How are you?
Good. Always nice to join you this time of the year.
Well, you have done a tremendous job over the years covering Vandy baseball. When I think of Vandy baseball, first I think of Tim Corbin, then I think of you. You know what I mean? Not any of the pitchers that have gone into the majors, not Dansby Swanson, not any of the other great players that are playing. Tim Corbin and then Chris Lee in that order when I think about Vandy baseball. How about that?
Well, we might need to reset the expectation there, but I do appreciate the compliment.
Well, it wasn't a typical Vandy baseball year, but it's turning into a typical Vandy baseball tournament. And the same thing can be said for LSU. These two programs have such rich history. Vanderbilt's built over the Tim Corbin era over the last, 15 years or so now. And of course, LSU has had such great history. But here they are, the 8 seed for Vanderbilt, the 11 seed for LSU, and they're hanging out waiting for Saturday to come. It's amazing how the cream rises to the top when the tournament comes.
Yeah, I expected this with LSU. I shouldn't say expected it. I'm not
they were hot.
surprised.
Yeah, they
actually
came in
had
hot.
LSU playing in the in the final. But I am a little more surprised with Vanderbilt. Now, there were, they did play well against Kentucky in the season finale. Tim Corbin always has a history of playing well at an event, but I wasn't sure if they had the horses or maybe more importantly, the confidence. But so far, they've been plenty confident in Hoover.
Yeah, I guess so, including Wednesday when they just hammered the Vols 13-4. Alan Espinal with 2 home runs in that game. That has to be a big confidence builder. We may see a rematch coming up tomorrow if Tennessee can get over on South or Mississippi State tonight. But wow, what a game that one was.
Yeah. Again, not on the list of things I thought I'd see. I thought if there was a 13-4 type game, I would have given you with a decent degree of certainty that would have gone the other way. But that was, I think, maybe the best game Vanderbilt's played all year. And I know there was a lot of, immediately afterwards, well, Tennessee didn't really, put a lot of importance on this game or come to play, whatever. And look, I looked in that dugout, and they looked a little disinterested after it started to get out of hand. But this was also the team that started A.J. Sneed, and there's been a little sleight of hand to say, well, he didn't make a start all year. Well, he's their best pitcher. He was the kid that would give them 5 or 6 innings in relief when the game was in the balance and they needed a guy to get them from the 4th to the 9th or stuff like that. And, was one of their leaders in innings pitched. So, that was a valuable win, and I think a little bit of a statement for them.
Yeah, it was a big win for them, and what a 38-20, something like that now. And you just wonder what it means for tomorrow. It seems a little unfair. I've always kind of felt this way a little bit, but I mean, they get through to Saturday without a loss, and they don't have the benefit of having that loss, being able to lose a game and keep going. You know what I mean? They don't have that cushion now. It'll be single elimination on Saturday, from what I understand. And, that means that, if Tennessee wins tonight and come back and beat Vandy, it almost feels like Tennessee should have to beat them twice. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem right that they could split and Tennessee moves on to the championship game.
Yeah, I get that. And I thought that too, but on the other hand, if you look at the bigger picture, I don't know when the last time a team got to the semifinals of the SEC tournament and didn't make the NCAA tournament. In fact, I wonder if it's ever happened. And here's my point. By this point of the tournament, you've mostly wrapped up what you came there to do, to secure an NCAA tournament bid. Maybe in Mississippi State's case, a couple of wins to make sure you host a regional because they're on the bubble. If you're Tennessee, maybe you win a game or two to try to get a national seed, then maybe the 1 or the 2 instead of the 3 or the 4. Point is, at this point, we're painting in the margins in terms of the bigger picture. And so I don't really hear anybody complain about the unfairness of that at that point, because the other thing you're thinking is, let's just get our pitching staff healthy to next week, because that's the one that matters. So, yeah, it is a little bit unfair, but I think the reason nobody complains is at that point you're kind of balancing the need to keep your guys fresh with the need to bring home hardware that really doesn't matter as much as the hardware you start to play for the next week.
Yeah, I hate that thought process, but it always is right there. I mean, it's the same thing we go through with the basketball all the time. I mean, Vandy was never an issue in not making a tournament, right? I mean, maybe hosting, a regional, but I mean, that was never in doubt, was it? They didn't need to win a game.
Well, look, if they came in here and they face planted against Florida, there was going to be some doubt. I mean, D1 baseball was one of the last 4 in. Now, look, D1 baseball is not the committee, but they're pretty good at doing this. You never know what the committee's thinking, but the point is, if you're within the margin for error, you want to do what you can. And I think that win against Tennessee, certainly did it. And now Mississippi State win, that's just kind of piling on. That's probably making them a 2 seed instead of a 3 seed in somebody's regional. But yeah, there was. I still think I would have put them in the tournament had they lost the opening game to Florida, which had eliminated them. But there was some doubt about where they stood.
Yeah. Chris Lee with us here. No chance. Well, what if they go on? What if they win the SEC championship? Could they You think they host a regional then? Would that get them there or no?
It would be unprecedented. Now, look, the RPI and the KPI, which they're using as kind of a check against the RPI, would probably put them in range. I think they're 17 in RPI as of last night. But the little albatross, or not a little one, it's a big one, is that 13-17 conference record, and that's going to get looked at heavily. You've at least got to be 500 in the league to host. And sometimes when you're 15-15, you're hosting. But I don't know that a team has ever hosted in the SEC or maybe not any other league with the losing conference record. And unfortunately for Vanderbilt, I think they could win the event and still be a 2-seed somewhere.
Yeah, Chris Lee with us here. You know what? It's interesting too. I mean, I'd never really have asked anybody this question. I just kind of accepted it as it is. But I was talking early on about the fact that 6 of the 16 teams in the Super Regional with the softball are SEC schools, and that doesn't include Texas and Oklahoma, who are also in the Super Regionals. And, of course, next year they will be SEC schools as well. And Vandy doesn't have a softball team. What is the deal with that? I mean, it's the only the SEC softball in the SEC is as good as softball as baseball in the SEC. What is the deal with Vandy not having a softball team?
I think it's a couple things. Obviously, it's more cost to start a team for something that's probably not a profitable sport, I'm going to guess. I mean, it is with the other SEC teams. I don't know if it would be for Vandy or not. That's number one. And number two, and maybe number two should be number one, they're in a high-rent district of Nashville. And so any land that you commit to another athletic facility is going to cost you some money. Or take away from other things you can build. So I think maybe land is part of it because you can't double with the baseball field.
Yeah.
Number three, they've never really been the most forward-thinking athletic department anyway. Maybe that changes with the explosion of money that's coming to the sport. Although the schools are going to have to start paying a lot of that back, as you may have heard. But I think it's somewhere in the range of those things.
What is going on with the speaking of building? What's going on with the stadium? I haven't seen the latest. How far along are they? Of course, a lot of Alabama fans looking forward to Alabama playing up there, doing the old thing where you buy the Vanderbilt season tickets and sell the rest of them off. But what's going on with the stadium? How far along is that?
Well, to the ticket issue, they did a smart thing this year. I think it was in a 250-mile radius. They said that you can't buy season tickets without calling the ticket office and having a conversation. So they're trying to lock out other schools from, just overtaking the stadium. That's at least a step. And good for them. We've complained for years that they did nothing, and so they're starting to do some of that. The stadium, what used to be the open end, Tom, is now closed. They're finishing the building in that end zone, which is going to contain a very large basketball facility. It's going to be 2 full-size practice gyms and stuff like that. The outer-facing portion is going to be luxury seating and maybe dining and stuff like that. That's supposed to be done sometime in September, I think, inside and outside. And then in the formerly closed end zone, which was open last year, as everybody liked to note, with the construction cranes and everything, the girders have gone up. They've started to form the foundations and the skeleton of what's going to be the building in that end zone. That's going to be the football building with all kinds of facilities and the weight room and whatever goes inside a football building, plus premium seating on the outside. So you're going to have kind of half the picture of what it's going to look like this year. In one end zone, and you can start to see what the other one's going to look like. You're already starting to see it, and I'm sure they'll be further along in September when they start playing.
Yeah, Chris Lee with us. All right, so to the issue of the NCAA and this new agreement that is going to allow Power 5 schools to directly pay players. It seems like, throughout this whole process, ever since NIL got approved and the transfer portal and all these things, there's all these unintended consequences, along the way that you really don't know until it's in play. So now we get this deal. And first of all, I mean, there were some people when they first saw it right off the bat thought, well, this is going to control NIL. This now replaces NIL because you can pay the players directly. This has nothing to do with NIL, right? I mean, stop me if I'm lying, but it seems like all this means is that there'll be revenue sharing between the school and the players as a group, but that doesn't stop name, image, and likeness. A kid can still go get a deal with the car dealership to do, whatever, and and those things will all still be in play, correct? This doesn't do anything about NIL.
Well, it depends on your definition of NIL. If it's the original,
real NIL, as is NIL,
which lasted for about a half a second. I would argue not even that. As some of the teams figured it out before it went official at midnight that day. I don't think it rules out. Now, here's what I wonder. I've been asking myself this for a while, because I think eventually it's becoming a professional sport on some level.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have – I would think that you would have some kind of salary cap based on revenue sharing or something like that, more like what the pro leagues do. But there's nothing to prevent – college is different. Fans aren't lined up giving Amy Adams Strunk at the Titans – just extra money just because. College football, they do that. I'm very interested to see what happens once you have the schools paying the players, which again, I'm presuming if you're trying to run it with any kind of order and semblance, you would think that every team would be on a level playing field with some kind of a salary cap. But does that stop, a booster from saying, hey, Johnny, come play for Georgia, and you'll get a $10 million, NIL deal. $10 million's a lot. You get $1 million NIL deal to, endorse the car dealership. Wink, wink.
I don't see how it would, Chris. I mean, how is it going to stop them?
That's what
it's
I
not
wonder,
enough money. $20 million for the entirety of the entire sports program at the school. I mean, how much is that going to amount to? $100,000 for a left tackle? They're still going to go out there and get the big money from the boosters.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like, but here's the point. Okay, in the NFL, you cannot exceed the salary cap.
Right.
You can't tamper. You can't do all the things that we know get teams in trouble. I would presume that system of law and order at some point makes its way to college sports. I'm just wondering what you do with the outside stuff. That once you've capped the money you can pay your football team, what do you do with all those other things? And that to me is one of the big questions I have.
Well, and again, all right. So Patrick Mahomes made $57 million last year, and they're under the salary, what the NFL salary cap is. He's not doing commercials for Allstate for free. Or for State Farm.
Right.
He's not doing those State Farm commercials for free. LeBron James isn't doing those things. So all of those leagues have salary caps, quote unquote, and supposedly this has a cap of $22 million, per university, up to $22 million in revenue sharing that they can do. But it doesn't, just like in the NFL or Major League Baseball or in the NBA, it doesn't prevent these guys from going out and doing deals, endorsement deals. That's all they are, is endorsement deals. So I don't know how this is going to stop, other than the fact that the booster, it's not an unlimited amount of money. The booster might say, okay, I've been paying kids direct. Now I'm going to pay it into the school. You guys pay the kid, and you determine what you're, how you're going to spread it around. But the other thing is that we're not talking about just 85 football players or however many, because everybody's going to get a piece. Everybody's going to get a taste. But we're going to pay the baseball players. They're going to pay the gymnasts. They're going to pay everybody. So it seems like it'll thin out, in a hurry. The one thing that I heard Pat Forty saying this morning was that it sounded like scholarship limits will go up ostensibly, especially baseball, right? Baseball's 11 1/3 scholarships. And, theoretically they'll be able to pay everybody. So, really it would be like, it'd be like scholarships being increased in a sport like baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works though. Nobody knows how this works.
No, there's a lot of things. I was just wondering. It's funny. A couple of years ago, I was just thinking, somebody's going to get smart and I know we're going off on a tangent, but and figure out that you can get a lot of bang for your buck for baseball. And boy, did LSU ever do that with Paul Skeens. And I think that the money for baseball players is going up quickly. This whole thing is just fascinating. I think the two things that I can't get my head around is how this squares with Title IX stuff. And the other thing, again, how do you, if you put everybody on salary cap, because let's face it, if an Alabama football player is on an NIL deal that's funded by an Alabama booster, he's not going to get the same check to go to Auburn under, quote, NIL, unquote.
Right.
And I'm just wondering how that part gets regulated. Because, again, that's something that when Patrick Mahomes makes his money, he's making it because State Farm wants him, whether he's a Chief or a Seahawk or whoever. That's not the case in, quote, NIL for college sports. And these are just all the things that as this kind of comes unwound, and also the unlimited transfers, too.
That's
we
the
all
part.
have more questions than answers.
Right, that's the part. I don't know if that's addressed in any of this. Are they going to,
It's got to be.
You got to have a contract, right? If your kid is going to get paid by the school directly, he has to have a 2 or a 3 year contract, and to where, and I know that coaches move around, but they have to pay a buyout. You know what I mean? So if a kid was going to go to another school, that other school would have to pay the buyout or whatever. I mean, there has to be some sort of regulation, and they're doing all of this without them being employees. What are going to be 1099? Is that what it is? Everybody's going to get a 1099? And do you get a 1099 for that $60,000? What's a Vanderbilt education cost per year? 60, 70 grand. It's 83 at Notre Dame. I mean, we don't even count that? It's nothing?
It's about that. Yeah, you would think it would have to, but here's the thing. If they build an airport and bring it, you have an air traffic controller. And what the NCAA has done, if you want to visit, they've just put up an airport and said, we'll bring in as many planes as people want to fly, and you just kind of come and go, and you try to find a spot on the runway. There's nobody overseeing the whole thing. And when you make multiple changes, and the combination of the portal and NIL is I think what pushed this over the edge of insanity. Because, remember what the arguments were, okay? Well, it's not fair that kids can't get paid when schools are making tens of millions of dollars of revenue, and it's $1 billion business. And I think that was fair. And it was like, well, coaches can leave, but players can't transfer. Players have to stay and stick it out. So they struck both those, but they struck them at the same time.
Right.
And then what it created was this crazy set of incentives where everybody declares free agency every year, and it's the chaos we all know and don't necessarily love. And that's all what happens when you don't have an air traffic controller. But of course we could have foreseen this because it's the NCAA.
Yeah. Yeah, but the whole concept, the original concept, you go, you get an education, and you play. And when it became that so much money was being paid to the coaches and so much money paid to the universities, these TV contracts and everything else, then it just became a flat-out business. And I've tried to say this to people over and over again, too. This is a uniquely American thing. Nowhere else in the country or in the world do they have college sports like this. I mean, the best players in European soccer are signed when they're 16 years old. They're professionals, the tennis players, golfers, whatever, other parts of the world. Nobody has college sports. You don't go to Japan and see that they've got college sports. You don't have college baseball over in Japan that is at this level. Those kids sign contracts and play in the pros. And it was only in the U.S. that we had this little, this dirty little secret, if you will, in these college sports, free education for playing, and we're going to make money off of your backs. And, so I suppose at some particular point in time, this was all going to come to a head, and it's really going to just turn into a business that is representing schools, I guess. That's, just another pro league.
Well, I think it's already been that for a while. I think you have some schools that are more serious about the academic component. But let's go back, and I'm not trying to pick on a school, but you remember the whole North Carolina academic thing.
Yeah.
The sham classes and all. And North Carolina is, probably a top 10 public university in the country. And I mean, this has been happening for a while. And it got to the point, I think one of the things that shoved it over is just the idea of the student athlete concept, which was invented back in the 50s by the NCAA to keep from paying workers' comp. And it started to feel less and less genuine as years went on. And I think now almost the entire pretense of education in some ways has been dropped. Now, I don't think that's the case everywhere. I'm not saying every kid, maybe there will come a day where when the playing field, if it's ever leveled, say, between Vanderbilt and Georgia athletically, I'm speaking hypothetically. Right. Let's say that 20 years from now, it's like the NFL, where anybody can be good any given, year because of the setup of the system and everything being more regulated and everybody having money to spend. And, and you've already seen the playing field level, this last year and just the last couple of years. Let's say that goes to another extreme to where it is more like the NFL, where the Lions, if they're good, can make the playoffs, which I guess would be your NFL equivalent of Vandy. That whole thing is very interesting to me of what it would look like under that scenario.
Yeah, I was trying to explain to my
and I guess the point I was trying to get at too, and I forgot my thought, was maybe in that case, then education becomes a little bit more of a tiebreaker, and it shifts back the other way. I think that's a long shot, but it's interesting to ponder.
I don't know if you saw it 6 months ago or whenever it was when Deion Sanders said his son Shedeur never been on campus. He'd never been on campus. He's never been to a classroom at Colorado. He's never, he takes online classes, and he has never. And Deion was actually, to his credit in this particular case, was actually lamenting that and saying he's missing out on a college experience and so on. But he's never been in a classroom at Colorado. He's never been on the campus. He's only been back and forth to the football facility. He's never been to a campus, anywhere on campus. And that is sad. And I was trying to explain to my young son, not too long ago, that when this whole thing was started, you mentioned the 50s, but this whole concept of college sports, there was a reason why the Ivy League schools, the private schools, were dominant back in the day, and Notre Dame was dominant, and the service academies, the best and the brightest, went to Army and Navy. They won national championships. They won Heisman trophies. Georgia Tech, the thought of Georgia Tech winning a national championship now almost seems, foreign. Princeton had won 13 national championships, but and even Notre Dame. I tried to predict, I know that they're all top 5 and all this crap. I predicted 15 years ago Notre Dame would never win a national championship again. Just because they're going the way of an Ivy League school someday. But having said that that's the way it used to be. The best and the brightest went to college, and college men played these sports, but not anymore. Now it's just it's just not like that anymore. So the places
that ship sailed
long ago. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's worse than ever. That's for sure. All right, Chris Lee has been our guest. Chris, I appreciate you so much. Let's see what Vandy does this weekend. Be really cool to see them win an SEC championship, and then let's see what happens in a big tournament. Tim Corbin, so much experience, and those guys have a lot of confidence. They know they're Vandy boys, no matter what kind of. I don't care if they lost 20 games or not. They're still Vandy boys, and you got to take them out at a tournament, and that's going to be a chore for whoever gets them in the NCAAs.
Yeah, they found some momentum here for sure at just the right time.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Tom.
I mean, you got the situation where Jaden Rashada, who's on his third team in 3 years now he's at Georgia. He's now filed a lawsuit against Billy Napier and the Gators' top booster, Hugh Hathcock, and former football staffer Marcus Castro-Walker over the failed name, image, and likeness deal that he was supposed to be paid $13.85 million out of high school. Here's a SEC quarterback suing a sitting rival coach. This is the unintended consequences. This is where we're going with this thing. According to the lawsuit, it claims, quote, fraudulent misrepresentation and inducement, aiding and abetting fraud, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, neglect, misrepresentation, torturous interference with a business relationship or contract with aiding and abetting torturous interference. Dang. Hathcock, who is with Velocity Automotive, the people that were supposedly putting up the money, Castro Walker, who was with the football staff, and Coach Napier, Billy Napier, orchestrated and executed a fraud upon Jaden and were substantially and knowingly assisted by one another in carrying out the fraud, according to the lawsuit. Each of their individual schemes would not have succeeded without assistance from another. School was contacted. They said, we're not, neither the University Athletic Association nor the University of Florida are named in a complaint. That's all they said about it. We're not going to talk about it. Somebody else. This is somebody else's problem. At the crux of the argument, the article says at CBSSports.com, are the actions of Napier, Hathcock, and his company Velocity Automotive, as well as Castro Walker convincing Rashada to eschew a previously agreed upon $9.5 million NIL deal to attend Miami to go to Florida. Rashada committed to play football at Miami in June of 22 under the terms of that deal, but the lawsuit says that Florida employees and boosters never backed off. It included allegations that Hathcock told Rashada, quote, whatever Jaden needed to come to Florida, Hathcock would make happen. It also alleges that his father, Harlan Rashada, was told that he could get a job in the security industry during a recruiting visit. Direct contact with a recruit during on-campus visit by a booster is against NCAA rules. To sway Rashada's decision, Hathcock and Castro Walker offered $13.85 million, with $5.35 million, including a $500,000 signing bonus to come through Hathcock's Velocity Automotive Company, and the rest through the Gator Guard, which is their NIL. Dang. Deal falls through. Quarterback transfers back. A kid 19 years old when this is all going down. Billy Napier's complicit in all of this, they say. And he turn around and they sue Florida. It's out of control. Everything's out of control. All right, we get a break. We'll come back. LSU Lynch and Grumpy, brothers from another mother, calling together, sitting alongside each other. They are on hold on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Everyone's favorite place to celebrate Cinco de Mayo this year is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. For Cinco de Mayo, Coralejos Mexican Grill will feature $3 regular margaritas and all nachos will be half off. And there will be even more surprises. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo this year at Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, Check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you could even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast all afternoon, even as we head into the evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. At the same time, some of us could end up staying dry. We'll maintain a small opportunity for rain as we head into the overnight. Temperatures drop into the mid-60s. A partly sunny sky for your Saturday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by our good friends at North Alabama Mortgage. With average home equity at an all-time high, this is the time to use that equity to pay off high-interest loans that you have. And yes, the rates are high, but you can always refinance once the rates come back down. Use that high equity that you have now to take care of some of those other things. Interest rates are nowhere near as high as they are for credit cards, that's for sure. And the credit card people have been sending those little notes that say, hey, your new credit rate is 26%. And I'm like, what do you get out of here? Anyway, don't put off that new home purchase either, because when the rates do drop, the prices will go up. So buy now, get the best price, and then refi when the rates drop. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. Brian Hammaker, his crew, great friends of the Tom Abraham Show. We appreciate them so much. It's North Alabama Mortgage. Text window, when does it stop? 17 to 18-year-old kids make more in a year than his parents and grandparents made in their entire work lives. Well, yeah, that's true. But it's supply and demand. It's the American way. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, right? Text window, I think college football has been corrupt, if you want to call it that, since almost day one. Secret stuff going on. Well, yeah. I don't know about from day one, but we have all heard the stories of Bear Bryant flying planes, small planes, over the home of recruits and dropping bags of money. I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying. We heard about it. Things like that. LSU Lynch is up. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Son, it's great to hear the show. Look here, shout out to the Wolverine Dan and the Tomahawk It feels
David.
great to win.
Yeah. The three is. So you're each going to win a twosome down there at the question will be whether or not you and your guest will play with Dan and his guest, and see if you guys can get through 18 without a fist fight breaking out.
Well, Dan, he's over. You have to tee off from the senior tees over the age of 55. So I have 1 year short than that. So I will still have to tee off, and it will be my son, my oldest son. He plays down there, and he thinks he's going to whoop Dad's ass. That's not going to happen.
Well, and Dan is 65, so he's teeing off, I think, from the red tees now. I think he tees off from the girls' tees or the gold,
they have a
red, golden tees. Yeah.
The red is for the females. They have a golden tee. Okay.
Is that further than the red?
It's further than the red.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where he'll be. He'll be at the closest tee that he can get to. He might get to the red tee. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, look here, number 2. It's 100 days to the LSU football kickoff, and how funny is it, Grumpy? I know you're listening. How ironic is it that he and I are calling in at the same time?
It's not ironic at all. You guys do it every time now. I think you guys are sitting next to each other, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We're over here at Corleo's, eating some tacos, doing all that. But look here, my last thing, because I know you're short for time with some other calls come in. Look here, my LSU baseball team, just freaking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking incredible, because we have sucked, and we got hot, just like the Havoc got hot, and we're hot. So, yesterday's game, Tom, was just freaking amazing. Absolutely amazing. So
and it kind of sucks. I hate that these teams, LSU and Vandy, have to, they're single elimination now. They don't get to lose a game and keep going. I mean, you know what I mean? If it almost seems like, if they lose, they should have to lose again. But
look here, we're the 11th seed. Come on, man. Come on. Yeah. And then Vandy's number 8. I mean, I never ever expected us to be where we are right now. I mean, because you got the Tennessees, you had the Suckensaws, you had the Tuckies. Okay, you still got the Cox. We may have to play them again. I don't know. So, I'm so proud of this baseball team.
At least you'll be in the big tournament now, for sure, right? I mean, there was a question.
We had to beat old Mississippi to kind of get in there, and we did that. So anyway, look here. Good luck with your Banjo Minnow charity fishing tournament.
Let's see how that works. Yeah. At one point in time, they were 3-12 in conference play. 3-12 in conference play. That's where they were, and they went off. 17-5 since they were 3-12 in conference play. Grumpy is up next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. I just wanted to touch on this real quick. You had a caller calling in or a text about kids making more money than their grandparents.
Yeah.
In the history of mankind, it has never been easier to be successful than today. If you look at the timeline of mankind, it has never been easier to make money and be successful than now. And, just have a good attitude. Don't worry about the next guy. If you want more money, go make it. There's plenty of ways to do it. Used to, you had to work for somebody else. You know what I mean? 100 years ago, you had to go out and find one of the few jobs that was around. Now, there's so many ways to make money. I'm just saying, don't have a bad attitude about somebody else, disbelief that these kids are making money. If you want more money, have a good attitude and just go get it. It's out there. There's a million ways to be successful these days.
Well, especially because there are so many people that are just standing around doing nothing with their hand out.
Yeah.
And I've told my sons all through the years, the first thing you do is you beat 85% of all people by just showing up on time. If you just show up on time, you're going to – right. If you just show up ready to go, you've eliminated 85% of the general public. Now you're going to use your talent to beat the other 15%,
Yeah. Okay, well, real quick here, did you? I missed the first part of the show. Did you already touch about the Grissom fishing team?
No, I did not touch about. I don't know anything about it. What did the Grissom fishing team do? I didn't even know there was a. What did they do? What did they win?
They I don't want to say they won the state championship because the articles I'm reading don't say state championship. But they did place first in the state fishing tournament at the end of the year, and they also got the total year most points for the total year and got School of the Year.
Really?
Now, yeah, Grissom did that right here. So congratulations to Grizz, and maybe he can get a Grissom fishing hat out of that. But
Grizz, make a note, Grizz, because we're in the process of putting together all of our mentions and the people that we're going to honor at the 2024 Rocket City Award, the Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards, presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission. And we got to add Grissom Fishing to the list. I mean, they got to be at least listed amongst the state champions and the other great achievements.
Oh, yeah.
225 teams.
Without a doubt. I mean, I'm reading it right now. I'm just trying to
225 teams.
I didn't hear anything about
first.
It.
I didn't even know about this, Yeah,
and Grissom now doesn't have to wait around for the swimming and diving championships to try to win something.
It's been a while.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They can fish.
Hey, well, listen, I did want to say this. There's 420 teams that play football in the state of Alabama, and I was thinking, this fishing thing might not be that big of a deal, may only be 15 teams, but there were 225 teams in the state of Alabama in this championship. 225 fishing teams.
That's a thing. Yeah, this is definitely a thing. It happened over on Wheeler. This is where, by the way, there'll be an Elite Series event. The Whataburger Bassmaster Elite is coming up on Wheeler on beginning June 15th. So if you guys want to see the best in the world, that's where that will be at. But this is great for Grissom Fishing. I mean, this is tremendous. That's a good job by them.
One more question. One more thing. I noticed they had a smallmouth and a largemouth division, and I was wondering if you ever talk to anybody about it, like if you catch a smallmouth, do they not count it if they have a different division?
I have never seen that before. I gotta look at that note. I had not seen that. I appreciate you. Usually, I mean, it's black bass, so smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted are all classified together for the purposes. I mean, a lot of times, you'll weigh in a bag at a place like anywhere on the Tennessee River. You'll weigh in a bag that might have 2 smallies in there and 3 largemouth in there, and so on. There's a different. A lot of times the smallmouth limit might be 18 inches and the largemouth limit is 15 inches or whatever. Now, they might have paid had a big smallmouth and a big largemouth, but I doubt they had I'm pretty certain they didn't have a smallmouth division and a largemouth division. I'd be surprised if it was that. They may have had a prize for the biggest largemouth and the biggest smallmouth. I think it would work that way. All right. Look, I've got a lot of things I didn't get to on this show. We're going to come back and wrap it up here in a moment. But I figured it would be that way because I have I have 5 days worth of crap I'm trying to stick into one day, and we're not going to get to it all. But we got a couple of days next week to do some stuff. So we'll get a break in here. We'll come back and wrap it up next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
97.7 ESPN The Zone is the Tennessee Valley's #1 destination for the finest in sports talk all day long. Tune in to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond each morning at 7. Then, the Morning Blitz with Captain Cool and the Bandy Man. At noon, it's the Thom Abraham Show, followed by Paul Feinbaum and The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. The Zone is also your home for University of Alabama and UAH sports, plus the Atlanta Braves and the High School Sports Streaming Network. And sister station Talk Radio WZZN has Trash Pandas action with Josh Carey all season long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. Listen on the air or download the apps and take them with you everywhere.
Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This music inspires me to tell you that this afternoon, if you run down a Valley Equipment Rental and get your equipment rented for the weekend, you can use it all the way through the weekend. And guess what? It's a holiday weekend, which means you get it all the way till Tuesday. They're not coming in on Memorial Day for you. All right? So this is a big holiday weekend. Get the Valley Equipment Rental. Get your equipment this afternoon, first thing in the morning, either way. And you got it all the way through Tuesday of next week. You can get a lot of work done over the Memorial Day weekend. I remember when I was a kid, we used the Memorial Day weekend. My dad and me and my uncles, my dad, we had 2 or 3 bulldozers, 3 or 4 bulldozers from his construction company brought down to our property on Lake Ontario, and we knocked a cliff down and pushed all the dirt out into the lake and smoothed it all out and made 300 foot of frontage out there in the lake. And you guys can do the same thing. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to do that, but you know what I mean? You can do the same thing over the Memorial Day weekend, get a lot of work done with Valley Equipment Rental. So get it done down there. The owner, Ross Roberts, he grew up in this equipment rental industry, and they've got 2 tremendous locations, one on the North Parkway and one on the South Parkway. We also want to tell you that coming up, it'll be the Guntersville Lake Hydro Fest, and that is coming up in June 29th and 30th. You're going to learn more about this next Tuesday. We're going to have a guest in here talking about it as well, but these are the fastest hydroplane. This Guntersville Lake is the fastest hydroplane track in America. These boats will hit the Unlimited, the H1 Unlimiteds. They'll hit 175 miles an hour, Grizz. You think you went fast in my boat? How about 175 miles an hour?
I mean, it's fun to watch, but that, oof.
It'll all take place in Browns Creek. They got the H1 Unlimited, Grand Prix America, Pro Light, and vintage hydroplanes all coming in this year. Stock outboards as well. It's the South's fastest water. It's the first time they've been here in decades. All right? And this is absolutely amazing. You get to walk around in the pits. It is incredible. They'll do a beach launch at Hydrofest. It's unreal. It's coming up on the 29th and 30th, so make plans to be there. We'll be there. Radio station will be there. I'll be there sometime over that weekend as well. It's really incredible. It's incredible. And you're going to learn a lot more about this over the next month. They have a big street festival going on as well on Thursday. That'll be down there right in downtown Guntersville as well. So that's something to be really excited about as well. Of course, we're off on Monday.
because of the holiday. After being off for 4 days, of course, we'll take Monday off. Why not? It's that time of year. We got to get this stuff in. Then we'll be back on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Then the boys will take you Thursday and Friday. I have another event next weekend, and that is it's the Hummingbird, the Minn Kota Hummingbird Owners event. And again, another big-time sponsor of mine. And I can't not be there. Can't not be there. That's taking place at Pickwick. $50,000 first prize at the Minn Kota Hummingbird Owners event. That's next week. So coming up next, we'll give you Paul Feinbaum for a minute or three. And then Alabama, Tennessee, they get the Super Regional started in softball, then SEC baseball. We'll have that all over the weekend for you as well, along with the Braves and everything else. Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, we love baseball almost as much as we love serving up the best and baddest burgers around. People have called our burgers totally insane. And at Bad Daddy's, we take that as a compliment. But it's not just burgers. Up first, starters like our fried pickles, wings, or poblano frites. Second, try one of Bad Daddy's giant chopped salads. Third, our famous chef-inspired burgers with lots of different taste options. And before you head home, finish up with one of our shakes or delicious banana pudding. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and Clift Farm in Madison.
Step into 8th Street Community, where we empower adults with diverse disabilities to thrive. With your support, we provide quality care for our residents. However, their income is only $733 a month, while care costs $3,500. Help us match their everyday care by making a monthly contribution at www.3058street.org. Your contribution ensures they receive the care they deserve, fostering independence and dignity. Join us in making a difference today.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Counting down, about to put the anchor down. Hotty toddy, who's it gonna be? Cowbells and swamp, the Aggies romp. There's nothing like the SEC. The weekend's full of surprises. From Williams Place to Death Valley. On the Fine Mom Show, Paul's on the roll. If he don't get the best of me.
Where's Paul? Hell, I don't know. Coach Paul Feinbaum.
Kneeling's up on Rocky Top. The Razorbacks are hard to stop. War Eagles soaring in the wind.
Let me talk, Jamie. Okay, go.
Tigers rocking in Missoula. Wildcats are grinning too. Talk about the tide that's rolling in. The weekend's full of surprises. Big upsets to rivalries. On the Fine Mom Show, heads are gonna roll. If they don't get the best of me, we'll call Paul. Yeah, it makes sense of it all. Yeah, call Paul. Yeah, it makes sense of it all.
I'm hearing your theme song in my head when I wake up.
Oh, I might call you 2, 3, 4, 5 times for the day over with.
All right, welcome in. Paul Feinbaum Show. Cole Kublik sitting in with you again today. Glad you're all with us, and it has been a historic 24 hours for collegiate athletics. Maybe some direction we never thought that we would head in college sports. There are a lot of statements, a lot of comments about the NCAA and every Power 5 conference agreeing to share revenue with players by coming to terms on a settlement around $2.8 billion. House Attorney Jeffrey Kessler says, for the first time in history, we will now have a fair and just economic system for college athletes. Not everyone sees it that way, and a lot of people see this as a little bit different for a lot of different reasons. We'll hear from you on just exactly what you think of it. Is this going to change anything for you, for how you watch college sports, how you consume it? Is it going to change your opinion on it? Want to hear from you, obviously, the rest of the day. Let us know exactly what you're thinking about this settlement and this lawsuit that looks like now it could potentially go away. A lot of former college athletes looking to get theirs. They want their money. They want to get paid. And looking for different reasons to maybe find out if they are eligible for some of these checks that are going to be coming down. What is going to change? What is going to be different throughout the course of college football, college basketball, college sports as we've moved forward? And the normal host of this show, Paul Feinbaum, was on Get Up earlier this morning to discuss just exactly what he felt like this means for collegiate athletics moving forward.
This is the most significant day in the history of the NCAA because the sham that the NCAA has always been is over. They have always fought on every mountain to defend the right that this is really amateur athletics when we've all known that has not been the case for a long time. And finally, they had to agree to it in court to avoid what? To avoid literally going out of business, because had this case gone to trial, they would have been wiped out. I mean, if you agreed to settle something for $2.8 billion, can you imagine how much exposure you had? So the NCAA plus the conferences that were dragged into it alongside simply wave the white flag. They have the money. This isn't really to further student athletes, so to speak. This is to prevail and preserve their own ability to continue to be in existence. That is the NCAA.
So that's Paul Feinbaum, normal host of this show, with his thoughts on what this settlement means, saying